Oh, let me feel ya. I need to feel ya. He screamed.
Okay. Okay. Y'all got me a little nervous about this one, but here we go. We're gonna be here for a while. Y'all ready? Y'all ready for this?
In 2006, the world's greatest piece of fan fiction was written. Consider this, the feature-length adaptation. Part 1 of 2, Part 2 coming soon. Featuring Sorrow TV.
Whoa!
So tune up for bites. Get comfy. It's story time.
Never seen Harry Potter.
My name is Ebony Darkness Dementia Ravenway. And I have long ebony black hair. That's how I got my name. I'm a vampire, but my teeth are straight and white. I'm also a witch, and I go to a magic school called Hogwarts in England, where I'm in the 7th year. I'm a goth, and I wear mostly black. I love Hot Topic, and I buy all my clothes from there. A lot of preps stare at me. I put up my middle finger at them.
Hey, Ebony! I shouted.
I looked up. It was Draco Malfoy. What's up, Draco? I asked.
Nothing, I said shyly.
But then, I heard my friends call me, and I had to go away. Chapter 2, Author's Note. Thanks to Bloody Tears 666 again for helping me with the chapter. By the way, prep stopped flaming my story, okay? The next day I woke up in my bedroom. I opened the door of my coffin and drank some blood from a bottle I had. I got out of my coffin and took off my giant My Chemical Romance t-shirt, which I use for pajamas. Instead, I put on a black leather dress, a pentagram necklace, combat boots, and black fishnets. I put on 4 pairs of earrings in my pierced ears and put my hair in a kind of messy bun. My friend Willow, author's note, Raven, this is you, woke up and then grinned at me. She put on her Marilyn Manson t-shirt with a black mini, fishnets, and pointy high-heeled boots. We put on our makeup, black lipstick, white foundation, and black eyeliner.
OMFG, I saw you talking to Draco Malfoy yesterday, I said excitedly.
Yeah, so, I said blushing.
Do you like Draco? I asked as we went out of the Slytherin common room and into the Great Hall.
No, I so f***ing don't, I shouted.
Yeah, right, I exclaimed.
Just then, Draco walked up to me.
Hi, I said.
Hi, I replied flirtily.
Guess what? I said.
What? I asked.
Well, Good Charlotte are having a concert in Hogsmeade, I told her.
Oh my f***ing god, I screamed. I love Good Charlotte. They are my favorite band besides My Chemical Romance.
Well, do you want to go with me? I asked.
I gasped. Chapter 3, Author's Note. Stop flaming the story, preps, okay? Otherwise, thanks to the Gothics people for the good reviews.
Okay, so I'm assuming this person is writing the story, but also getting feedback from the preps. The preps. The goths. This.
Fangs again, Raven. On the night of the concert, I put on my black lace-up boots and high heels. Underneath, there were ripped red fishnets. Then I put on this black mini dress with all of this corset stuff. I put on matching fishnets on my arms. I straightened my hair and made it look all spiky. I felt a little depressed then, so I slit open one of my wrists.
Oh my god!
Let's just go. Let's just keep it rolling. Don't.
As you do. I read a depressing book while I waited for it to stop bleeding, and I listened to some Good Charlotte. I painted my nails black and put on tons of black eyeliner. Then I put on some black lipstick. I didn't put on foundation because I was pale anyway. I drank some human blood, so I was ready to go to the concert. I went outside. Draco was waiting there in front of his flying car. He was wearing a Simple Plan t-shirt. They would play at the show too. Baggy black skater pants, black nail polish, and a little eyeliner. Author's note. A lot for cool boys were it okay. What? Hi, Draco, I said in a depressed voice.
Hi, Ebony, I said back. We walked into my flying black Mercedes-Benz. The license plate said 666.
Of course.
Flew to the place with the concert. On the way, we listened excitedly to Good Charlotte and Marilyn Manson. We both smoked cigarettes and drugs.
Naturally.
When we got there, we both hopped out of the car. We went to the mosh pit at the front of the stage, and jumped up and down as we listened to Good Charlotte.
Joel is so fucking hot, I said to Draco, pointing to him as he sang, filling the club with his amazing voice.
SpongeBob.
Suddenly, Draco looked sad. "What's wrong?" I asked as we moshed to the music. Then I caught on. "Hey, it's okay. I don't like him better than you," I said.
Really? I asked sensitively as I put my arm around her, all protective.
"Really?" I said. "Besides, I don't even know Joel, and he's going out with Hillary f***ing Duff. I f***ing hate that little bitch," I said disgustedly, thinking of her ugly blonde face.
The night went on really well, and I had a great time. So did Draco. After the concert, we drank some beer and asked Benji and Joel for their autographs and photos with them. We got Good Charlotte concert tees. Draco and I crawled back into the Mercedes-Benz, but Draco didn't go back into Hogwarts. Instead, he drove the car into the Forbidden Forest.
Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. What's gonna happen in this what's gonna happen in this Forbidden Forest?
Chapter 4. I said stop flaming, okay? Ebony's name is Inobi, not Mary Sue, okay? Draco is so in love with her that he is acting different. They knew each other before, okay? Draco, I shouted, what the do you think you're doing?
Draco didn't answer, but he stopped the flying car.
Y'all fell?
And he walked out of it.
Wait,
I
what?
walked out of it too, curiously.
What the fucking hell? I asked angrily.
Ebony? He asked.
What? I snapped.
Draco leaned in extra close, and I looked into his gothic red eyes. He was wearing color contacts, which revealed so much depressing sorrow and evilness. And then suddenly, I didn't feel mad anymore. And then, suddenly, just as Draco kissed me passionately. Draco climbed on top of me, and we started to make out keenly against a tree. He took off my top, and I took off his clothes. I even took off my bra. Then he put his thingy into my you-know-what, and we did it for the first time. Dear God.
Oh, I screamed. I was beginning to get an orgasm. I started to kiss everywhere and my pale body became all warm. And then...
What the hell you doing, motherfuckers?
It was Dumbledore! Chapter 5. Author's Note. Stop flaming. If you flame, it means you are prep or a poser. The only reason Dumbledore swore is because he had a headache, okay? And on top of that, he was mad at them for having sex. P.S. I'm not updating until I get 5 good reviews. Dumbledore made, and Draco and I follow him. He kept shouting us angrily.
You ludicrous fools! I shouted.
I started to cry, tears of blood down my pallid face. Draco comforted me. When we went back to the castle, Dumbledore took us to Professor Snape and Professor McGonagall, who were both looking very angry.
They were having sexual intercourse in the Forbidden Forest! He yelled in a furious voice.
Why did you do such a thing, you mediocre dunces? Asked Professor McGonagall.
How dare you? Demanded Professor Snape. And then Draco shrieked, Because I love her!
Everyone was quiet. Dumbledore and Professor McGonagall still looked mad, but Professor Snape said,
Fine. Very well. You may go up to your rooms.
Draco and I went upstairs, while the teachers glared at us.
Are you okay, Ebony? Draco asked gingerly.
Yeah, I guess. I lied. I went to the girls' dorm and brushed my teeth and my hair and changed into a low-cut, black floor-length dress with red lace all around it that had black high heels. When I came out, Draco was standing in front of the bathroom. He had started to sing I Just Want to Live by Good Charlotte. I was so flattered, even though he wasn't supposed to be there. We hugged and kissed. After that, we said goodnight, and he reluctantly went back to his room. Chapter 6. Shut up, preps, okay? P.S. I won't update until you give me good reviews. The next day I woke up in my coffin. I put on a black miniskirt that was ripped all around the edges, and a matching top with red skulls all over it and high-heeled boots that were black. I put on 2 pairs of skull earrings and 2 crosses in my ears. I spray-painted my hair with purple. In the Great Hall, I ate some Count Chocula cereal with blood instead of milk.
Alright.
And a glass of red blood. Suddenly, someone bumped into me. All the blood spilled all over my top. Bastard!
Oh, it's red.
I shouted angrily. I regretted saying it when I looked up. I was looking into the pale white face of a gothic boy with spiky black hair and red streaks in it. He was wearing so much eyeliner that it was going down his face, and he was wearing black lipstick. He didn't have glasses anymore, and now he was wearing red contact lenses just like Draco's, and there was no scar on his forehead anymore. He had a manly stubble on his chin. He had a sexy English accent. He looked exactly like Joel Madden. He was so sexy that my body went all hot when I saw him. Kind of like an erection, only I'm a girl, so I didn't get one, you sicko.
I'm so sorry, I said in a shy voice.
That's all right. What's your name? I questioned.
My name's Harry Potter, although most people call me Vampire these days.
Of course.
I grumbled.
Why? I exclaimed.
Because I love the taste of human blood.
Oh, y'all got something in common.
Well, I am a vampire, I confessed.
Really? I whimpered.
Yeah, I roared. We sat down for a while, then Draco came up behind me and told me he had a surprise for me, so I went away with him. Chapter 7. Bring Me to Life. Author's note. Well, okay guys, I'm only writing this because I got 5 God reviews. And by the way, I won't write next chapter till I get 10 good VOMs. Stop flaming or I'll report you. Ebony isn't a Mary Sue, okay? She isn't perfect. She's a Satanist. She has problems and she's depressed for God's sake.
What kind of comments is she...
Draco and I held our pale, white hands with black nail polish and went upstairs. I was wearing red Satanist sings on my nails in red nail polish. Author's note. See, does that sound like a Meru Sue to you? I waved to Vampire. I guess he was jealous of me, that I was going out with Draco. Anyway, I went upstairs excitedly with Draco. We went to his room, and I locked the door.
Oh no.
Then we started Frenching passively. Then we took off each other's clothes enthusiastically. He felt me up before I took off my top. Then I took off my black leather bra, and he took off his pants. We went on the bed and started making out naked. Then he put his boy's thingy in mine, and we had sex. See, is that stupid? Oh, Draco, Draco, I shouted, while getting an orgasm, when all of a sudden I saw a tattoo, and I had never seen before on Draco's arm. It was a black heart with an arrow through it. On it, in bloody goth writing, were the words, Vampire. I was so angry. You bastard, I shouted angrily, jumping out of bed.
No! No! But you don't understand! Draco pleaded. But she knew too much.
No, you f***ing idiot, I shouted. You probably have AIDS anyway.
What? Okay.
Draco ran out, even though he was naked. He had a really big you-know-what, but I was too mad to care. I stomped out and did so until I was in the vampire's classroom, where he was having a lesson with Professor Snape and some other people.
Did I miss something here?
Potter, you Chapter 8.
Wait, what?
Author's note. Stop flassing, okay? If you do, then you are a prep. Everyone in the class stared at me, and then Draco came into the room, even though he was naked, and started begging me to take him back.
Ebony, it's not what you think.
That's you?
Sadly.
What?
My friend Bloody Mary Smith smiled at me understandingly. She flipped her long waist-length gothic black hair and opened her crimson eyes like blood that she was wearing contact lenses on. She had pale white skin that she was wearing white makeup on. Hermione was kidnapped when she was born. Her real parents are vampires, and one of them is a witch, but Voldemort killed her mother, and her father committed suicide because he was depressed about it. She still has nightmares about it, and she is very haunted and depressed. It also turns out her real last name is Smith and not Granger. Since she had converted to Satanism, she is in Slytherin now, not Gryffindor.
What is it that you desire, you ridiculous dimwit? Snape demeaned angrily in his cold voice, but I ignored him.
Vampire, I can't believe you cheated on me with Draco, I shouted at him.
I don't know why Ebony was so mad at me. I had went out with Vampire. I'm bi, and so is Ebony.
but...
For a while. But then he broke my heart. He dumped me because he liked Brittany, a stupid, preppy f***er.
Of course.
We're just good friends now. He'd gone through horrible problems, and now he was gothic. Haha, like I would hang out with a prep.
I'm assuming you didn't see the tattoo the first time because the person caught y'all in the middle of doing the thing. So the second time you saw the tattoo with the vampire, which means vampire is aka Harry Potter, which the guy hooked up with a while back ago, but they're just friends. Whoa. Okay.
But I'm not going out with Draco anymore.
His name is Vampire.
Yeah, f***ing right. F*** off, you bastard, I screamed. I ran out of the room into the Forbidden Forest, where I had lost my virility to Draco, and then I started to bust into tears. Chapter 9. Author's note. Stop flaming, okay? I didn't read all the books. This is from the movie, okay? So it's not my fault if Dumbledore swears. Besides, I said he had a headache, and the reason Snap doesn't like Harry now is because he's Christian and Vampire is a Satanist. My Chemical Romance rocks. I was so mad and sad, I couldn't believe Draco for cheating on me. I began to cry against the tree where I did it with Draco. Then, all of a suddenly, an horrible man with red eyes and no nose and everything started flying towards me on a broomstick. He didn't have a nose, basically like Voldemort in the movie, and he was wearing all black, but it was obvious he wasn't gothic. It was Voldemort. No, I shouted in a scared voice, but then Voldemort shouted, Imperial! And I couldn't run away. Crookshanks, I shouted at him. Voldemort fell off his broom and started to scream. I felt bad for him, even though I'm a sadist, so I stopped.
Ebony!
Nice.
I yelled. Thou must kill Vampire Potter!
I thought about Vampire, and his 6-hour eyes, and his gothic black hair, and how his face looks just like Joel Madden. I remember that Draco had said I didn't understand, so I thought, what if Draco went out with Vampire before I went out with him, and they broke up? No, Voldemort, I shouted back. Voldemort gave me a gun. No, please, I begged.
Thou must, I yelled. If thou dost not, then I shall kill thy beloved Draco.
How did he know? I asked in a surprised way.
Voldemort got a dude, you're so retarded look on his face. I hath telekinesis, he answered cruelly. And if you doth not kill Vampire, then thou know what will happen to Draco, he shouted. Then he flew away angrily on his broomstick.
I was so scared and mad I didn't know what to do. Suddenly, Draco came into the woods. Draco, I said. Hi.
Hi, he said back, but his face was all sad. He was wearing white foundation and messy eyeliner, kind of like a pentagram. Get it? Between Joel Madden and Gerard Way.
Are you okay? I asked.
No, he answered.
I'm sorry I got all mad at you, but I thought you cheated on me, I expelled.
That's okay, he said, all depressed, and we went back into Hogwarts together making out.
Chapter 10.
Right.
Author's note. Stop it, you gay Fs. If you do not like my story, then f*** off.
Yo.
P.S. It turns out Bloody Mary isn't a muggle, a flirt owl, and she a vampire are evil, that's why they moved houses, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
I was really scared about Voldemort all day. I was even upset, went to rehearsals with my gothic metal band, Bloody Gothic Rose 666. Draco and Vampire were depressed, so they weren't coming, and we wrote songs instead. I knew Draco was probably slitting his wrists. He wouldn't die because he was a vampire too, and the only way you can kill a vampire is with a CROSS. There's no way I'm writing that. Or a stake. And Vampire was probably watching a depressing movie like The Corpse Bride. I put on a black leather shirt that showed off my boobs and tiny matching miniskirt that said Simple Plan on the butt. You might think I'm a slut, but I'm really not. We were singing a cover of Helena, and at the end of the song I suddenly bust into tears. Ebony, are you okay? Bloody Mary asked in a concerted voice.
What the fuck do you think? I asked angrily. And then I said, well, Voldemort came and the f***ing bastard told me to f***ing kill Harry. But I don't want to kill him because he's really nice, even if he did go out with Draco. But if I don't kill Harry, then Voldemort will kill Draco. I burst into tears. Suddenly, Draco jumped out from behind a wall.
Why didn't you f***ing tell me? I shouted. How could you f***ing poser muggle bitch? See, is that out of character?
I started to cry and cry. Draco started to cry too, all sensitive.
Wait, what?
Then he ran out crying. We practiced for 1 more hour. Then suddenly Dumbledore walked in angrily. His eyes were all fiery, and I knew this time it wasn't because he had a headache.
What have you done? He started to cry wisely.
See, that's basically not swearing, and this time he was really upset, and you will see why.
Ebony Draco has been found in his room. He committed suicide by slitting his wrists!
What?
Wait, I thought he could have died though.
What?
What? Yo, I thought he could have died because he's a vampire and whatnot.
He committed suicide by slitting his wrists!
What?
Chapter 11. Author's note. I said stop flaming you preps. See if this chapter are stupid 11111. I delves with really serious issues. See for yourself if it's stupid BRW thanks to my friend Raven for helping me. No, I screamed. I was horrified. She tried to comfort me, but I told her to f*** off, and I ran to my room crying to myself. Dumbledore chased after me, shouting, but he had to stop when I went to my room because he would look like a perv that way if he went in. Anyway, I started crying tears of blood, and then I slit both my wrists. They got all over my clothes, so I took them off and jumped into the bath angrily.
Can you imagine somebody jumping in the bath angrily? I'm so sorry. Stop. This is a serious story. Take this serious.
I started crying tears of blood, and then I slit both my wrists. They got all over my clothes, so I took them off and jumped into the bath angrily, while I went to put on Linkin Park at full volume. I grabbed a stake and almost stuck it into my heart to commit suicide. I was so fucking depressed. I got out of the bathtub and put on a black low-cut dress with lace all over it, sandally. What? I put on black high heels with pink metal stuff on the ends and 6 pairs of skull earrings. I couldn't believe this. Then I looked out the window and screamed. Snap was spying on me, and he was taking a videotape of me, and Lupin was masticating to it. Masticating is chewing, by the way.
Yep.
And they were sitting on their broomsticks. Ooh, you f***ing pervs. Stop looking at me naked. Are you pedos or what? I screamed, putting a black towel on with a picture of Marilyn Manson on it. Suddenly, Vampire ran in.
Abracadabra! He yelled at Snape and Lupin, pointing his womb.
His
I took my gun and shot Snape and Lupin a gazillion times, and they both started screaming, and the camera broke. Suddenly, Dumbledore ran in. Ebony, it has been revealed that someone has... No! He shouted, looking at Snape and Lupin, and then waved his wand. And suddenly...
You
Hagrid
okay?
ran outside on his broom and said, "Everyone, we need to talk."
They good?
What do you know, Hagrid? You're just a little Hogwarts student.
I may be a Hogwarts student, Hagrid paused angrily, but I am also a Satanist. This cannot be,
Oh, you're
Snap
alive.
said in a crisp voice as blood dripped from his hand where Dumbledore's wand had shot him. What? When did... What? Dude, I'm beyond lost at this point. There must be other factors.
You don't have any, I yelled in madly.
Lupin held up the camera, triumphantly. The lens may be ruined, but the tape is still there.
Y'all
I felt
good,
faint.
though.
More than I normally do, like how it feels when you do not drink enough blood.
Why are you doing this? Lupin said angrily. Because, Hagrid said as he paused in the air dramatically, waving his wand in the air. Then swooped he in, singing to the tune of a gothic version of a song by 50 Cent.
Alright.
Because you're gothic? Snap asked in a little afraid voice, because he was afraid it meant he was connected with Satan. Because I love her.
What?
Chapter 12, Author's Note. Stop F-R-ing, okay? Hagrid is a pedo to a lot of people in American schools. Like that, I wanted to address the issue. How do you know, Snap? I ain't Kristen plus Hagrid isn't really in love with Ebony. That was Cedric, okay? I was about to slit my
the
wrists
hell?
again. With a silver knife that Draco had given me in case anything happened to him.
No!
I thought it was Hagrid, but it was Vampire. He started to scream.
Oh my fucking god, no! My scar hurts!
And then his eyes rolled up. You could only see his red whites. I stopped. How did you know?
I saw it, and my scar turned back into a lightning bolt!
No! I ran up closer. I thought you didn't have a scar anymore, I shouted.
I do, but Diabolo changed it into a pentagram for me, and I always cover it up with foundation. I said back. Anyway, my scar hurt and it turned back into the lightning bolt. Save me!
Then I had a vision of what was happening to Draco. Voldemort has him bondage.
Wait, what? He alive?
Anyway, I was in the school nurse's office now, recovering from my slit wrists. Snap and Lupin and Harry was there too. They were going to St. Mango's after they recovered, because there were pedophiles, and you can't have those f***ing pervs teaching in a school with lots of hot girls. Dumbledore had constipated the Sidio camera they took off me naked. I put up my middle finger at them. Anyway, Hagrid came into the hospital bed holding a bouquet of pink roses.
Enobi, I need to tell you something, I said in a serious voice,
you come
giving
from?
her the roses.
Fuck off, I told him. You know I hate the f***ing color pink anyway, and I don't like f***ed up preps like you, I snapped. Hagrid had been mean to me before for being gothic.
No, Enobi, Hagrid says. Those are not roses.
What, are they goths too, you poser prep? I asked because I was angry that he had bought me pink roses.
I saved your life! I yelled angrily.
No, you didn't, I replied. You saved me from getting a Paris Hilton P video made from your shower scene and being viewed by Snape and Lupin, who masturbated. See, is that spelled wrong? Whatever, I yelled angrily. He pointed his wand at the pink roses.
These aren't roses. He suddenly looked at them with an evil look in his eye and muttered, Well, if you wanted honesty, that's all you had to say!
That's
What
not
are
a
they?
spell. That's a My Chemical Romance song, I corrected him wisely.
I know. I was just warming up my vocal cordes. Then he screamed, Petulus morengo mi cremil chil romacio.
For all you cool gothic My Chemical Romance fans out there, that is a tribute. Especially for Raven. I love you, girl. In my opinion, natto okeo.
And then the roses turn into a huge black flame floating in the middle of the air. And it was black. And I knew he wasn't a prep. Okay, I believe you now. What the fuck is Draco?
Hairgrid rolled his eyes. I looked into the balls of flame, but I could see nothing. You see, Enabi, Dumbledore said, watching the two of us watching the flame, to see what is in the flames. Ha ha ha, you reviewers' flames, get it? You must find yourself first, Kay. No, I have find myself, okay, you mean old man, Hagrid yelled. Dumbledore looked shocked. I guess he didn't have a headache, or else he would have said something back. Hagrid stormed off back into his bed.
Anyway, when I got better, I went upstairs and put on a black leather mini dress that was all ripped on the ends with lace on it. Then I put on some corset stuff on the front. Then I put on some black fishnets and black high-heeled boots with pictures of Billy Joe Armstrong on them. I put my hair all out around me so I looked like Samara from The Ring. If you don't know who she is, you are prep, so f*** off. So I put on blood red lipstick, black eyeliner, and black lip gloss.
You look kawaii, girl.
But
Why?
Ludi Mary said sadly.
A cool? I'm not goth. I don't know.
Fangs, get it? You do too, I said sadly. But I was still upset. I slit both my wrists, feeling totally depressed, and I sucked out all the blood. I cried again in my bathroom, and I put the shades on so Snap and Lupin couldn't spy on me this time. I went to some classes.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine.
Vampire was in the hair of magic creatures. He looked all depressed because Draco had disappeared, and he had used to be in love with Draco. He was
Didn't he
sucking
kill
blood from
himself?
Hufflepuff.
Hi, he said in a depressed way.
Hi back, I
Hi.
said in a wickedly sad way. We both looked at each other for some time. Harry had beautiful, red gothic eyes, so much like Draco's. Then, we jumped on each other and started screwing each other.
Stop it now, you horny simpletons!
Shouted Professor McGoggle, who was watching us, and so was everyone else.
Vampire, you f***er, I started slapping him. Stop trying to screw me. You know I love Draco, I shouted, then I ran away.
Wait, what?
Chapter 13. Vampire and I run up the stairs looking for Dumbledore.
Dumbledore!
Dumbledore! We both yelled. Dumbledore came there.
What is it that you want now, you despicable snobs? He asked angrily. Voldemort has Draco!
We
What?
shouted at the same time. He laughed in an evil voice.
No!
This is not making any sense.
Save
Draco!
We begged.
No, he said meanly. I don't give a darn what Voldemort does to Draco. Not after how much he misbehaved in school, especially with you, Ebony, he said while he frowned looking at me. Besides, I never liked him that much anyway. Then he walked away. Vampire started crying. My Draco!
Yo, Draco.
Author's note. Don't you think gay guys are like so hot? It's okay. I tried to help him, but that
Okay.
didn't stop him. He started to cry tears of blood. And then he had a brainstorm.
I had an idea! He exclaimed.
What? I asked him.
You'll see, he said. He took out his wand and did a spell. Then, suddenly, we were in Voldemort's lair.
We ran with our wands out, just as we heard the croon voice say, Allah Kedavra. It was Voldemort. Chapter 14.
What? Wait,
Author's
what?
note.
Fuck
Perhaps
off,
okay.
Fred.
Raven Fangs for helping again. I'm sorry I couldn't update, but I was depressed and had to go to the hospital because I slit my wrists. P.S. I'm not updating till I give you my 10 good reviews.
Stop. Okay, stop.
Viola excretion advised. We ran into where Voldemort was. It turned out that Voldemort wasn't there. Instead, the fat guy who killed Cedric was. Draco was there crying tears of blood. Snaketail was torturing him.
People live their authentic lives.
Vampire and I ran in front of the Snaketail.
Read my sight, you despicable preps! He shouted
wait, they're not
as we
preps.
started shooting him with the gun. He looked at me, and he fell down with a lovey-dovey look in his eyes.
Doc, he said.
In dis, he is 16 years old, so he's not a pedophile, okay?
Huh? I asked.
Who is ever writing this story is obsessed with people making out with her. First of all, I thought the man slit his wrist and was dead, but he's tied up. Oh no, please don't start making love to this man on the floor. You know, he's 16, it's cool, but he don't look 16 right now. It doesn't fucking matter. It's a story. It's just, I'm flabbergasted. I just let the story ride through.
Inobi, I love you. Will you have sex with me? Asked Snaketail.
I started laughing crudely. What the fuck? You torture my boyfriend
Okay.
and then you expect me to you? God, you are so up, you fucking bastard, I said angrily.
Then you
and then I
stabbed
stabbed him in the heart. Blood poured out like
You drank
fountain.
that?
No!
He screamed. He started screaming and running around. Then he fell down and died. I burst into tears sadly. "Snaketail, what art thou doing?" called Voldemort. Then he started coming. We could hear his high heels clacking to us. So we got on our broomsticks and we flew to
what about-
Hogwarts.
Okay, you
We
gonna
went
leave
to
him
my
behind?
room. Vampire went away. There I started crying. "What's wrong, honey?" asked
Oh.
Draco, taking off his clothes so we could screw.
He had a sex pack. Get it? Because he's so sexy. And a really huge you-know-what and everything. It's so unfair, I yielded. Why can't I just be ugly or plain like all the other girls and preps here except for Bloody Mary? Because she's not ugly or anything.
Why would you want to be ugly? I don't like the preps anyway. They're such f***ing sluts, answered Draco.
Yeah, but everyone is in love with me. Like Snape and Lupin took a video of me naked. Hagrid says he's in love with me. Vampires like me, and now even Snaketail is in love with me. I just want to be with you, okay, Draco?
Well,
Why
just
could
be with
Satan
him.
have made me less beautiful? I shouted angrily. Author's note. Don't worry, Inobi isn't a snob or anything, but a lot of people have told her she's pretty. I'm good at
She
too
sounds-
many things. Why can't I just be normal? It's a f***ing curse. I shouted and then I ran away. Chapter 15. Author's note. Stop flaming, okay? By the way, you suck from no on every time someone flams me, I'm gonna slit my wrist.
What? I'm sorry. The way he says, "slit my wrist." I mean, it's not supposed to be funny. That should not be funny, but the way he keeps saying it is hilarious.
Every time someone flams me, I'm gonna slit my wrists. Thanks to Raven for helping.
"Ebony, Ebony!" shouted Draco sadly. "No, please, come back!"
But I was too mad. Whatever, now you can go and have sex with Vampire, I shouted. I stormed into my room and closed my black door with the blood-red key. Then I looked at my black Good Charlotte watch and noticed that it was time to go to biology.
Time to
I put on a
rock.
short, ripped black gothic dress that said anarchy on the front in blood-red letters, and it was all ripped and with a spiky belt. Under that, I
spiky
put
belt.
on ripped black fishnets and boots that said Joel all over them in blood-red letters. I put my ebony black hair out. Anyway, I went downstairs, feeling all sad and depressed as usual. I did some advanced biology work. I was turning a bloody pentagram into a black guitar. Suddenly the guitar turned to Draco.
"Inobi, I love you!" I shouted sadly. "I do not care what those fucker preps and posers think. You're the most beautiful girl in the world.
Before I met you, I used to want to commit suicide all
But
the time.
didn't you just...
Now I just want to f***ing be with you. I f***ing love you.
Then he started to sing The Chronicles of Life and Death. We considered it our song now, because we fell in love when Joel was singing it. Oh my f***ing god, I said after he was finished. Some f***ing preps stared at us, but I just stuck my middle finger up at them. They were covered in black nail polish, and were intertwined with Draco's now. I love you, I said, and then we started to kiss. Then we went away holding hands. Lupin shouted.
Do you do
at us, but
any
he stopped
studying in
because
this
everyone
school?
was clapping by how sexy we looked together. Then I saw a poster saying that MCR would have a concert in Hogsmeade right then. We looked at each other all shocked, and then we went together.
To be continued. Question mark? Like bloody question mark. Next time on My Immortal. Ebony and Draco go to the My Chemical Romance concert. But they're in for a big surprise.
Uh-oh. If this is not one of the most confusing stories I've ever heard.
NordVPN did a thing, and now video happen. Chapter 16. We ran happily to Hogsmeade. There we saw the stage where Good Charlotte had played. We ran in happily. My Chemical Romance were playing Helena. I was so fucking happy.
Oh,
Gerard looked even sexier than he did in depictions. Even Draco thought so. I could totally see him getting an erection. I was wearing a black leather mini dress and black leather platinum boots with red ripped fishnets. Draco was wearing a black baggy MCR t-shirt and black baggy pants. Anyway, we stated moshing to Helena. We're French. We ran up to the front of the band to stage dive. Suddenly, Gerard pulled off his mask. So did the others. We gasped. It was Voldemort and the Death Dealers.
You moronic idiots! He shouted angstily. Inobi, I told you to kill vampire. Thou have failed. And now I shall kill thou.
he should die again.
No,
No,
please.
We begged sadly, but he took out his knife. Suddenly, a gothic old man flew in on a broomstick. He had long black hair and a long black beard. He was wearing a black robe that said Avril Lavigne on the back. He shot at a spell, and Voldemort ran away. It was Dumbledore. Chapter 18. Author's note. I said stop flaming. If you do, then you are a prep. Thanks to Raven for the help and stuff. You rock. And you are not a prep. Thanks for my sweater. P.S. The other reason Dumbledore swore is 'cause he trin to be gothic, so dear. I woke up the next day in my coffin. I walked out of it and put on some black eyeliner, black eyeshadow, and blood-bed lipstick. The night before, Draco and I ran back to the skull. Get it? Skull because I'm gothic and like death. Dumbledore chased Voldemort away. We flew there on our brooms. Mine was black and the broom stuff was blood red.
The broom stuff.
There was lace all over it. Draco had a black MCR boom. We went back to our rooms and we had you-know-what to a Linkin Park song. Well, anyway, I went back to the Great Hall. There, all the walls were painted black and the tables were black too. But you could see there was pink pant underneath the black pant. There were posters of poser bands everywhere, like Ashley Simpson and the Backstreet Boys.
Ashley? Backstreet Boys. Moving on.
What the f***? I shouted. Vampire, Dracula, and Draco came. We started to talk about who was sexier, Mikey or Gerard Way, or Billy Joe Armstrong. The boys joined in because they were bi.
Those guys are so hot. Navel was saying, as suddenly a gothic old man with a black beard and everything came. Dumbledore?
We all gasped. What the fuck? I shouted angrily. I thought he was just wearing that to scare Voldemort.
Hello, everyone, he said happily. As you can see, I gave the room a makeover. What do you think about it?
Everyone from the photo
Oh my god.
started to cheer. Well, we goths just looked at each other, all disgusted, and shook our heads. We couldn't believe what a poser he was.
By the way, you can call me Albert. Called as we left to our classes.
What a fucking poser! Draco shouted angrily as we to transformation.
We were holding hands. Vampire looked really jealous. I could see him crying blood in a gothic way. Get it? Like Gerard. But I didn't say anything.
I bet he's having a midlife crisis, Willow shouted.
I was so fucking angry. Chapter 20.
Gosh,
I said I
darn it.
don't care what you think. Stop flaming, okay, preps. Thanks to Raven for the help. Oh, yeah, and by the way, I'll be on vacation in Transylvania for the next 3 days, so do not expect updates. I slit my wrists while I moshed MCR in my bedroom all night, feeling excited. Suddenly, someone knocked on the door. I got all mad and turned it off. But sacredly, I hopped inside that it was Draco so that we could do it again. It was Lupin. Are you gonna come with me or what?
Attend a romantic congress without my consent. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Dumbledore had told us to be careful around him and Snape, since he was a pig.
Friends with
No,
you.
actually. Get it, hell? Can I borrow some condoms? He growled angrily.
Borrow some condoms.
Yeah, so you...
So we rush.
I shouted sarcastically.
He said, gong away.
Well, anyway, I put on some black eyeshadow, black eyeliner, and some black lipstick and white foundation. Then I went. Then I gasped. Snake and Lupin were in the middle of the empty hall doing it, and Dobby was watching.
Oh my god, you ludicrous idiot! They both shooted angrily when they saw me.
Dobby ran away crying. Normally, I would have been turned on. I love seeing guys do it. But both of them were preps. What the
Wow.
Is this why you wanted condoms? I asked sarcastically. See, I spelled that.
Only you wouldn't give them to me, Lumpkin shouted angrily.
Well, you should have told me, I replied.
You dimwit. Snake began to shoot angrily.
And then I took out my black camera and took a pic of them. You could see that they were naked and everything.
Well, excuse me.
But you just had that done.
They both shouted angrily. What was that all about?
Yeah, what was
It
that
was to
all about?
blackmail you,
Oh.
I snarked. So now next time you see me doing it with my boyfriend, you can't fucking rat me out, or I'll show this to Dumbledore. So f*** off, you bastards.
Please
I started to run. They chased me, but I threw my wound at them, and they tripped over it. Well, anyway, I went outside and there was Vampire, looking extremely f***ing hot. What the f***? Where'd Draco? I asked him.
Oh, he's being a fucking bastard. He told me he wouldn't come, Vampire said, shaking his head. You wanna come with me? To the concert?
Then, he showed me his flying car.
He
I
has one too.
It was a black car. He said his dogfather, Sirius Black, had given it to him. The license plate on the front said MCR 666 on it, and the license plate on the back said Inobi. I gasped. We flew to the concert hall. MCR were there, playing.
Oh.
Vampire and I began to make out, moshing to the music. I gasped, looking at the band. I almost had an orgasm. And then I heard some crying.
Let me guess.
I turned and saw Draco
Of
crying
course.
in a corner. Author's note.
Fuck you, okay?
You fucking suck. It's not my fault if it's spelt wrong, okay? Cause Dad Raven, cause it fuck you preps. Was Soz Raven Fangs for the help. By the way, Transylvania rocks rad. I got to go to the castle where Dracola was filmed. Draco was crying in the common room. Draco,
No, he ain't okay.
I asked in a gothic voice.
No, I'm not, you fucking bitch! He shouted angrily. He started to run out of the place in a suicidal way.
Again?
I stated to cry, because I was afraid he would commit suicide.
It's okay, Inobi, said Vampire comfortably. I'll make him feel better.
Excuse
You
you?
mean you'll go f him, won't you? I shouted angrily. Then I ran to get Draco. Vampire came too.
Oh, no.
Draco,
Oh no.
please come. He began to cry. Tears of blood came down his pale face.
I was so turned on, because I love sensitive bi guys.
Uh-oh.
If you're a homophobe, then off.
No, nobody.
And then, we heard some footsteps. Vampire got out his black invincibility cloak. We both got under it. We saw the janitor, Mr. Norris, there, shouting angrily with a flashlight in his hand.
Who's there? He shouted angrily.
We saw Filth come. He went under the invisibility cloak and started to meow loudly.
Is anyone there? Yelled Mr. Norris. No, you preppy little posy son of a bitch. Vampire said under his breast in a disgusted way. Excuse me? Excuse me? Who said that? Yelled Mr. Norris. Then he heard Filch meow. Filch, is there anyone under the cloak? He asked. Filth nodded.
And then, Vampire Frenched me. He did it just as Mr. Norris was taking off the cloak.
What the? He yelled.
But it was too late, because now we were ruining away from him.
Ruining away.
And then, we saw Draco crying and busting into tears and slitting his wrists outside of the school. Draco, I cried, are you okay?
I guess, though. Draco wept.
Draco and I decided to watch Lake Placid on the gothic red bed together. As I was about to put in the video, my eyes rolled up, and suddenly I had a vision of something that was happening now.
I don't even know anymore. This story's all over the damn place, but they're making it great.
Ad begin.
Hey!
Ooh.
Lady ankles. Oh no.
What's that?
Wasn't that
That's
something?
the FBI.
Ankles were bad?
We've just sent a record of your internet history to your family and friends and acquaintances for them to laugh at. Now your life is over. This wouldn't have happened if you had got NordVPN. Keep those degenerate websites a secret. Look at this guy. He uses NordVPN. Look how happy he is.
He looks pretty
He's
happy.
fucking ecstatic. It's so simple and clean. There's no complicated setup or technical stuff.
That's all
It
you
comes
have
with
to do.
unlimited bandwidth. You can even access international content. For example, let's go to Japan. Oh dear.
What was that?
It took me almost 2 months to make these videos, and it wouldn't have been possible without NordVPN.
NordVPN.
You get access to more content, and I get a kickback when you sign up. So remember to smash that link button with your parents' credit card in the description below.
Alright.
But what is a VPN, you may ask? Ad over.
Wait, what?
Chapter 22. Well, anyway, I woke up the next day. I was wearing black lacy leather pajamas. Then I gasped. Standing in front of me were Bloody Mary, Vampire, Diablo, Draco, Dracula, and Willow. I opened my crimson eyes. Willow was wearing a tight black leather top with pictures of bloody roses all over it. Vampire was wearing a baggy Simple Plan.
She's describing what literally everyone in the room is wearing, and it goes for a straight 5 minutes.
So were Crab and Goyle. Oh my fucking god, I yelled it as I jumped up. Why the f***
They like
are you
you?
all here?
Inobi, something's really f***ed up, Draco said.
Not good.
Okay, but I need to put on my clothes first, I shouted angrily.
It's alright. We have to go now, and you look kawaii anyway. You're so beautiful, Draco said in a sexy voice.
Oh, right, I said, smiling. But you have to tell me why you're being all erective.
I will, he said.
So I just put on some black eyeliner, black lipstick, and red eyeshadow, and white foundation. Then I came. We all went outside the Great Hall and looked in from a window. Inside the Great Hall, we could see Dumbledore. Cornelia Fudge was there shouting at Dumbledore. Doris Umbridge was there too.
You are not fit to be the principal any longer, yelled Rumbridge.
Are fired?
You're too old, and your Alzheimer's is dangerous. You must retry, or Voldemort will kill your students.
Very well, Dumbledore said angrily.
But
But we cannot do this. We cannot close the school. There is only one person who is capable of killing Voldemort, and she is in the school.
who? Ebony?
Her name is Inoni
Darkness.
Dementia Raven Way.
Draco Draco Crab, Goyle, Darkness, Vampire, and Baludi Mary looked at each other. I gasped. Chapter 23. Author's note.
The nut.
Shut the up, bitch.
Sums up this whole thing the best.
I opened the door, and Professor Umbridge and Cornelia Fudge stopped out angrily. I ate some Count Chocula and drank some blood from a cup. Then I heard someone shooting angrily. I looked behind me. It was Vampire. He and Draco were shooting at each other.
Keep shooting
I
each
want
other.
to shit next to her.
Shit.
No, I do. Shouted. No, she doesn't fucking like you, you son of a bitch, yelled Draco. No, f you. The shit
No, I
lady's
disagree.
me, not you, shouted Vampire.
And then he jumped on Draco. No, not in that way, you
Oh.
perv.
Oh, where the perv? Where the perv? Sorry. Sorry. Did I just not hear goddamn 30 minutes worth of stuff that was going down? Am I taking offense? Maybe a little bit. Just like, what? Really weird pervs?
They started to fight and beat up each other. Dumbledore yelled at them, but they didn't stop. All of a sudden, a terrible man with red eyes and no nose flew in on a broomstick. He had no nose and was wearing a grey robe.
Yeah, no.
All of the glass in the window fell apart. Brittany, that prep, started to cry. Vampire and Draco stopped fighting. I stopped eating. The room fell silent. Voldemort.
Ebony!
Yeah, booby.
Ebony! He said evilly in his raspy voice. Thou hast failed your mission. Now I shall kill thou, and I shall kill Vampire as well. If thou dost not kill him before then, I shall kill Draco too.
Please, don't make me kill him. Please. I begged.
No, he laughed crudely. Kill him, or I shall kill him anyway. Then he flew away cackling.
I bust into tears. Here we go. Draco and Vampire came to contort me.
Contort?
Suddenly,
Contort you?
my eyes rolled up so they looked all cool and gothic. No. I screamed sexily. Suddenly, I locked up and stopped having the vision.
Raven. That's so Raven. Look, that's so Raven. Didn't Raven help her out through this? It makes sense.
Ebony, are you alright?
Hey, Shark Tales!
Asked Draco in a worried voice.
Yeah, I said sadly as I got up.
Everything's alright, Anobi, said Vampire, all sensitive.
No, it's not, I shouted angrily. Tears of blood went down my face. Oh my fucking god, what if I'm getting possessed like in The Ring 2?
It's okay, girls.
I know that's
said
right.
Lady Mary. Maybe you should ask Professor Sinister about what the visions mean, though.
Okay, bitch, I said sadly, and then we went.
My valued friend.
Konnichiwa, everybody. Come in. Said the Professor Sinister in Japanese.
She smelled at me with her gothic black lipstick. She had long, dead black hair with blood-red tips and red eyes. She's the coolest fucking teacher ever.
1990 Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress for the role of Ola Mae Brown.
Molly, you in danger, girl.
Okay. You know, just embraced it. The Whoopi is my spirit animal, I guess.
I was wearing some black nail polish with red pentagrams on it.
What is it, Ebony? Sister? I love your nail polish. Where did you get it? Hot Topic?
Yeah, I answered. All the preps who didn't know what Hot Topic was gave me weird looks. I gave them the middle finger. Well, I have to talk to you about some things. When do you want to do it?
How about now, she asked.
Hope about now.
Okay, I said.
Okay, coração
Esqueci.
dismissed everyone. Professor Trevor said that she let everyone go.
Okay, I'm having lots of visions, I said in a worried voice. I'm so worried. Is Draco going to die? Well, she gave me a black crystal ball to look in. I looked at it.
What do you see? She asked.
Ask again
I
later.
said I see a black gothic skull and a pentagram. Suddenly, there was a knock at the door. I looked at it. It was Draco. He was looking really sexy, wearing a black leather facet, a black gothic Linkin Park t-shirt, and black Congress shoes.
Okay, you can go now see your cunt, said the Professor Sinister.
Bye, bitch, I said, waving. Chapter 25.
Oh my god.
Author's note. Stop flaming, okay? If you don't, then I'll tell Justin to beat you up, and I'll tell all the readers to put viruses on your computer. You, Ravenfang spelled help. I was so excited. I
so
followed
Raven.
Draco, wondering if we were going to do it again. We went outside, and then we went into Draco's black car. He started to fly the car into a tree. We went on top of it. Draco put on some MCR. We started tilling off each other's clothes fervently. He took off my black thong and my black leather bar.
What?
I took off his black boxes. Then he put his throbbing you-know-what into my tool, sexily. Oh my fucking god, Draco, Draco. I screamed, having an orgasm. We stated Frenching passively. Suddenly, I fell asleep. I started having a dream. In it, a black guy was shooting two gothic men with black long hair.
No! Please don't fucking kill her! Bleeding. Well, he just kept shooting them.
No!
What's up, you beautiful bastards? Okay, it's the Philip DeFranco intro.
Ebony, what's wrong?
Oh my
eating?
god, I shouted in a scared voice.
Ebony, what's wrong? Draco asked me as I woke up, opening my icy blue eyes.
I see blue
I
eyes.
started to cry, and tears of blood went down my face. I told Draco to call Vampire. He did with his black Linkin Park mobile. But the worst thing was who the people who were shot in the dream were. Lucian and Sirius. Chapter 26. A few mutates later, Vampire came to the tree.
Muted.
He was wearing a black leather Jackson, black leather pants, and a Good Charlotte t-shirt. Hi, Vampire, I said flirtily as I started to sob.
front of
Draco
your
hugged me
boyfriend, though?
sexily, trying to comfort me. I started to cry tears of blood, and then told them what happened.
Now come on, we have to tell Dumbledore.
I'm surprised y'all all haven't hooked up yet.
And into the castle. Dumbledore was sitting in his office.
Sire, our dads have been shot, Draco said, while we whipped some tears from his white face. Inobi had a vision in a dream.
Dumbledore started to cockle.
And how do you expect me to know Ebony's not divisional?
I glared at Dumbledore.
Look, motherfucker, he said angrily as
Hey,
Dumbledore
sir.
gasped. See? Is that tooth of character?
You know very well that I'm not decisional. Now get some people out there. Look for Ceres and Lucian. Ponto.
Okay, he said in an intimidated voice. Where are they?
I thought about it. Then all of a sudden, Longdon, I said. I told him which street. He went and called some people and did some stuff. After a few mistunes, he came back and said people were going out to look for them. Suddenly, Sirius and Lucian came in on stretchers, and Professor Sinister was behind them. Chapter 27. Vampires will never hurt you. Everyone in the room stated to cry happily. I had saved them.
What?
Draco, Lucian, Sirius, Bond, Vampire all came to hug me. The nurse started to give them medicine.
Come on, Ebony, said the Professor Sinister. I have to tell you the fucking prediction.
I looked at Lucian, Seraphs, Drake, and Vampire. They nodded. I smelled happily and went into a dark room. I had changed. Professor Sinister took out some black cards. She started to look into a black crucible ball. She said,
Who is Tara?
Tara, I see Draco times are near. She said battery.
she peered into the balls.
I see. You must go back in time, or...
She took out a time toner like Bloody Mary had.
When Voldemort was in Hogwarts, before he became powerful, he got his hearth broken. And now do you think he would still become a Voldemort if he was in a oven?
I shook my head.
You must go back in time and seduce him. It is the only way. If he is still evil, then you must kill him.
Okay, I said sadly. I went outside again, sadly. Chapter 28.
What f***ing happened? Asked Draco and Vampire. Yeah, what happened? Asked everyone else.
The problem is, I have to seduce Voldemort. I'll have to go back in time. Draco started to cry sadly. Vampire hugged him.
It's okay, Ebobi, he said finally. But what about me? You're not gonna break up or anything, are you?
Of course not, I gasped.
Really? He asked.
Sure, I said. We Frenched sexily. Vampire looked at us longingly. Then, I took off Draco's My Chemical Romance shrift and seductively took off his pants. He was hung like a Stallone. He had replaced the vampire tattoo that said Inobi on it. Black roses were around it. I gasped. He looked exactly like Gerard Way. Vampire took a video camera. I had said it was okay before. I took off my clothes, and we were in for the ride of our lives. We started Frenching as we climbed into the coffin. He put his Spock in my you-know-what, and passively, we did it.
I love you, Ebobi. Oh, let me feel ya. I need to feel ya, he screamed as we got an orgasm.
Okay. Not uncomfortable at all. And they're eating chips.
Feel ya. I need to feel ya, he screamed as we got an orgasm.
We watched Vampire filmed everything perfectly. Suddenly,
What the
What the f*** are you doing?
it was Snape and Professor McGoggle. Chapter 29.
Oh my Satan!
We screamed as we jumped out of the coffin. Snap and Professor McGonagall started to shoot at us angrily.
Come now!
We did it guiltily. We left the room putting on our clothes. Snoop garbed the caramel and put it in his pocket.
Hey, what the fuck? Vampire shooted angrily. Yeah, Buster! What the fuck are you going to do with the fucking camera? Draco demanded, all protected. Oh, sorry. Snoop laughed meanly. Ha 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 ha.
Shut your mouth, you insolent fools! Yelled Professor McGoggle.
She made us come into a weird room with white stones all around it. Draco started to cry all sexy and sexative. Get it? 'Cause he's a sex bomb, lol. And then, he and Snoop both took out guns using magic. They started to shoot each other angrily.
You mean shout
None
this
of the
time?
ballots
This is
got
actually
on each
shooting?
other yet. I took out my wand. Crossio, I shouted. Snape started to scram. He dropped the gun. But it was too late. Both of them had run out of ballets. I stopped to curse. Professor McGoogle did a spell so that they were all chained up. She took out a box of tools. Then she said...
Okay, Cerberus, I'm going to go now.
She left. Snap started to laugh evilly. Vampire started to cry.
It's okay, Inobi, said Draco. Evergreen will be alright. Remember the video you took of Snake.
Snape laughed again. And then he took out some whips. No! We screamed sadly. He took out a camera angrily. Then he came towards Draco. He took some stones out of his pocket. He put the stones around Draco and lit a candle. What the fuck are you doing? I shouted angrily.
I thought she was about to go back in time.
Snoop laughed meanly. He pulled down his pants. I gasped. There was a dork mark on his you-know-what. He waved his wand and a knife came. He gave the knife to me.
You must stab vampire.
He said to me.
If you don't, then I'll rap Draco.
No, you fucking bastard. I yielded. Snape laughed angrily. He started to pray to Voldemort. He started to do an incapacitation dance around the strokes, whipping Draco and Vampire. Suddenly, an idea I had. I closed my eyes and using my vampire powers, I sent a telepathic massage to Draco and Vampire.
Hey guys, I need you to make a distraction. For example, you could talk about how I'm wearing a long black leather dress with red jewels all over it and a corset kind of like a pentagram with lacy stuff all around the edges, like in the way that Amy Lee wore once at the concert. I'm also wearing matching black boots that say death on the heels and socks that are made of blood. I'm also wearing...
Dumbledore will get you, Draco shoot it. Yeah, just wait until the mystery find out. God damn it. Vampire yelled.
Meanwhile, I took out my wand.
You ridiculous donderhead. Snoop yielded. He took off all of Draco's clothes.
Oh.
Yeah, just as he was about to rape it.
Crocodile, I shitted, pointing my wound. Snoop screamed and started running around the room screaming. Meanwhile,
Motherfucker, what the fuck? That shit's hot.
Meanwhile, I grabbed my black mobile and sent a text to Sirius. I stopped doing Crucio.
You dunderhead.
Shooted Snape, but suddenly, Cerberus came. Snake put the whip behind his back.
Oh, hello, Sev. I was just teaching them something. He lied.
But suddenly, Lucian and Professor Trevelry came into the room, and they and Sirius unlocked the chains and put them around Snap.
I always
snap.
knew you were on Voldemort's side, you son of a bitka, Sirius said to Snape.
No, I'm not. I was teaching them something.
Snape clammed.
Oh, fucking yeah. And then, a big black car that said 666 on the license plate flew straight through the windows. And Snap was in it. Chapter 44. Author's note. Well, I have nothing to say, but Everett, stop glamming, okay? If any gothic people are reading this, then you rock. Oh my god, I still can't wait for the movie. Tom Flatten is so hot. Lol, I hope Harry will become gothic, cause my friend told me he is really emo in this book. OMFG, I'm leaving W pretty soon, can't wait. This will probably be the last chapter until I come back.
Okay.
That's me car! Shooted Draco angrily.
But suddenly, it was revealed who was in the car.
It was Snap, right?
It was
Wait, what?
Voldemort.
Now I shall kill thee all!
Thunder came in the room.
No, please don't kill us, pleaded Vampire. My god, look at this casting call.
Suddenly, Willow, Bloody Mary, Diablo, Ginny, Dracula, Fred, and George, Hagrid, McGonagall, Dumbledore, Sirius, and Lucian all ran in.
What is the meaning of this?
And Voldemort looked away, because Dumbledore is the only wizard that he is scared of. He did a spell, and suddenly his broomstick came to him sexily. Voldemort flew above the roof evilly on his broomstick.
Oh my gosh! Slugborn gasped. Get it? 'Cause I'm gothic. The Dark Lord shall kill all of you. Then you must submit to him. Snake ejaculated menacingly.
Cruciatus! Screamed Harry.
But the sparks from his wand only hit Draco's car. It fell down. Snap quickly crawled out of it and picked up the studio camera. Oh my fucking god, I cried, because the video of me in the bathroom. The video of me doing it with Draco.
If you kill me, then these videos will be shown to everyone in the skull.
School?
Then you can just be like that gothic girl, Paris Hilton.
Kim Kardashian.
He laughed meanly.
No, I screamed.
I saw too, she's gonna show everyone depict her! Harry shouted angrily.
Shut up! Lumpkin roared.
Foolish ignoramuses! Yielded Voldemort from his broomstick. Thou shall all die soon. Die!
Think again, you fucking muggle poser! Harry yelled. And then he and Diablo and Navel both took out black guns.
What the hell is going on?
Voldemort took out his own one.
You guys are in a Latin standoff, I shouted desperately.
Echo Neville's wand! Cried Voldemort.
It suddenly, Neville's wand was in his hands.
Now I shall kill thee all, and Ebony, you will die.
He made lighting come all over the place.
Save us, Ebony! Dumbledore cried.
I cried sexily. I just wanted to go to the common room and slit my wrists with my friends as we watched Shark Attack 3 and Saw 2, and do it with Draco. But I knew I had to do something more important. Abracadabra!
Shout. Oh yeah, shout it. Shoot it, shout it.
Is that the end?
That is the end.
No!
Holy shit.
And that's it. 80 minutes of incomprehensible drivel. Thank you for tolerating it. It's all just going to be notifications and thanks from here on, so feel free to quietly walk out the door. I'll do a short video at some stage on the origins of the author. I think there's quite an interesting story there. There have been a few people to claim to be Tara Gillespie, but
I don't
I'm not too
think they
confident
want
in any
to.
of them, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't think she's gonna want
I'm going to do more of these, because frankly, they're fun. And there are a couple stories in particular that need to be brought to the big screen. One of them is Sonic High School, and the other is Jeff the Killer. And Jeff the Killer in particular, because somehow it has risen to be one of the most popular creepypastas of all time.
Creepypasta, oh boy. I don't think the person's ever going to claim that they wrote this story, because personally, if I did, I would not be claiming I wrote this story. Draco apparently committed suicide. She slit her wrist a couple times, but all is well, you know. I don't understand it. This was beautifully done. Sorrel TV, internet historian, did a beautiful job. Were they eating at one point? I don't blame them. I don't blame them. Way it ended. I mean, come on. Where is she supposed to go into a time machine? There was just so many inconsistent moments that I just had questions. I just didn't understand it. But, you know, it's not for me to understand. It was really well put together. I enjoyed listening to the story, even though I was confused most of the time. But nonetheless, there we go. My Immortal Sundance Rejects, Part 1, 2, and 3. Blaze Squad, I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you blaze up the like button. And if you're still here, thank you. And I will see you guys in the next video.